a scion of many worlds. It had taken several hours to get everyone's eyes to recover from Clarity's attack. There had been open weeping from the former bandits that hadn't already cracked when offered food, which left things as rather awkward for some, as Jasper just got to work and kept working. He helped set up the tents and campfires in the part of the valley that wasn't being used for farming and didn't have any real significance to the order. After that, it was digging fire pits, latrines, setting up tents, and helping these poor idiots understand why being clean is preferable to being dirty. That last one was taken with good humor, as it was the most understandable thing about him due to his earthani nature. All told, it wasn't until well after sunset that he was done getting everyone settled down and was both physically and emotionally exhausted. These people were so deep over their heads it was downright pitiable. The daughters of the meek and downtrodden are what he has for an army. He has a lot of work to do, and the day isn't over yet. He needs to speak with Clarity and her entourage. When she had surrendered, her personal guard of a dozen water Araminta had surrendered with her. They were the ones she signaled to kick of the flash storm which nearly blinded him. Something he needs to talk to her about, because control of the weather is an insanely powerful level of battlefield control. Keep an enemy camp drenched and cold? Hell, flood it? Yes, please. He lets out a huff as he brushes back his growing mane of hair and antenna while he thinks. So the victorious champion is treating this as a loss? What's the matter? Were you hoping to pull down the stars and forge them into an indestructible blade of blinding white light to cleave entire mountains in twain? Perhaps call down an army of holy angels to reinforce and bless me and my girls? Dusk teases as she approaches him. She's wearing a simple but well-made dress that had been given to her from the Order. Seeing that the so-called backwoods monastery of the Order of the Star Seekers was in fact an entire community of scholars and healers who understood the way of the plow and sickle to the point that they could easily feed her entire encampment had been humbling for her. There's more to do, so much more. I need to find a proper way to house and contain Lady Lumen without violating undaunted policy, but also without letting her stab me in the back. I need to train up the horde of desperate and broken girls that you came in with into a proper standing army, likely sooner rather than later, as we already have hostiles attacking us in Aridus Valley and equipping them. My own personal training and defending the valley, as is my duty as the martial master of the Order. It looks like I'm repaying my debts to you a little quicker than I thought. Allow me to teach you something about Miru culture and honor. You have honorably defeated and captured the August Clarity Lumen. The August is a title given only to those who value their honor and integrity above all else and have proven it. It is not a title that can be bought or sold. It cannot be rescinded without enormous cause, and it cannot be earned with any degree of ease. She is August. She values her given word more than her life. She regards her personal integrity as more important than anything, even Miru itself. Why would any nation encourage an order of knights that would so easily turn against them? And why would such a knight violate another nation's borders to... Jasper trails off as he thinks on the way his own conduct would have looked from the outside. There were a dozen less than charitable considerations for his actions earlier in the day. All of them could easily make him out to be some rabid maniac or brutal warlord. The August Order is one of the oldest and most beloved institutions of Miru, a founding one in fact. The first knights to defend the homeland. The oldest noble houses are all born of the August Order. It was the August Order that kept Miru pure of the madness of the Greenstone Alliance. The slave-taking and empty hedonism of the breakaway states are kept far away by both the Miru armies and the August Order in equal terms. And how does it feel to be the target of the armies and the August Order? Is it still justified and righteous? My family is disgraced and my soldiers, the girls I'm supposed to represent, are a nearly worthless rabble. It's proper. There is a cost to falling out of favor or being the lower dregs. This is part of it. Disgusting, Jasper growls out as he looks down at her. If you think what's been done to you or to those girls outside is at all righteous or proper, then you're nothing short of insane. And if Lumen thinks that she's upholding some kind of standard of honor by supporting that brainless abuse, then she has no idea what honor is. That said, he simply barges into Lumen's chamber and scans the room. Her attendants are all cringing at the sight of him and she seems frozen in place. She then recovers, but still clearly isn't quite sure what to make of him. So, I honestly expected to be addressed sooner. Did you need a little rest after our fight? She asks, and he snorts. Hardly. I know the concept may be foreign to you, but I have to actually work to ensure things occur. I don't simply expect it to happen because I want it to, he says, and she seems taken aback. Now what have I done to earn such wrath? I could sense you outside this chamber and felt your rage spike. If you're aware of that level of awareness in the axiom, then why did you think that blinding my antenna and eyes would give you an advantage? Jasper asks, and Clarity tilts her head in bafflement. Your antenna? The bits coming up from your head, I assume? She asks, and he groans while holding his face. They are ignorant, not idiots. Get over it, Jasper. He mumbles just loud enough to be heard. Yes, the strange growths coming off the top of my head are called antennae. All forms of insects have some form of antenna. The reason the rains worked is because Orthani antennae sense energies in ways that are interfered with by water. Do you think yourself better than me? Clarity asks tartly, and Jasper raises an eyebrow. Eye ridge as the sheer white fur conceals the expression beyond some basic movement. I think that you are of a people who lost everything in a great calamity and were forced to rebuild in great desperation. I think you've tried to rebuild but lost your way, keeping perhaps only the original language that was spoken between the races and a few myths and legends of what you once were, Jasper says, and there's a pause. However, it's not what I think or my evaluations or estimations of this world that are the subject for debate. The first portion is the question of what I do with you. You have surrendered to me and asked for my mercy. If you wish to maintain it, there will be some rules you will have to follow, Jasper says before cracking his neck and surprising the room. That should not have happened. Failure to follow these rules will result in my mercy being rescinded, meaning that I'm offering you trust to behave honorably. Failure to live up to that expectation will result in a distinct lack of mercy next time you ask for it. I understand, she says, and he nods. Firstly, you are not going to be tortured, starved, or abused, nor shall your retainers. I will ask for information, but I will not be brutalizing you for it. I will, however, be willing to offer further incentives for it to be bought. Jasper continues, in exchange, you are not to attack me, my allies, or attempt to vandalize this place. Am I a hostage? Potentially. If I can purchase a ceasefire or force people to the negotiating table by offering to send you home, I will, Jasper says, and she stares at him. So I am your prisoner, but I'm not in chains or behind bars. Your chains are made of the honor we both value, Jasper says, and she stares at him in confusion. Miss, I'm not from Miru. If I've done something utterly baffling to you, then you must tell me. Your ways are not my ways. I assume that your subordinate there would have told you about these things already. I recruited her this afternoon, not even 2 hours before we had our fight. After that, I was setting up the camps for the former bandits and ensuring that there were enough fire pits, tents, latrines, and that everyone was fed, washed, and healthy. I have not had time to have a truly in-depth talk with her. Jasper explains, and Clarity blinks in confusion before openly gaping as she absorbs the information. You fought and killed hundreds of well-trained recruits, countered a volley of arrows, and caught the wrath of a blastmaw for a rabble you just recruited. If we're being technical, I hadn't recruited them yet, but that little fight secured their loyalty fairly firmly, I'd imagine. Jasper returns. Actually, it was the food, shelter, and healing. Dusk supplies, and Jasper shrugs. Well, there we have it. I fought and killed hundreds for the sake of people that wouldn't be loyal to me for at least another half hour, he says, and Clarity stares at him before sighing. This is utter madness. I can't believe I have to do this, she mutters, rising up. Do what? Jasper demands before she goes down to one knee. Behind him, Magrica enters the room chewing on some jerky and watching with amusement. He crouches down and she hops up to hang off his shoulder. Clarity actually does a double take at the wordless interaction between the two and takes a moment to try and mentally get back on the rails. Before this fun keeps going, you got a guest, big man. Turns out that some things your friends in the stars said got really close to a lot of things. The old biddies and the grand midwives keeping their records, and they're going to take a chance on you, Magrica says, deliberately cutting off Clarity as she begins to move and getting a glare from the light-attuned woman. The tiny monster hunter merely breaks off a chunk of the jerky and chews as loudly as she can. Oh, please tell me they sent Lady Allure. There just won't be drama enough without it, he says with a sardonic expression on his face, and Magrica snorts in amusement. Got it in one, Magrica remarks before smacking her lips and going back to the chewing. Is she? Clarity begins to ask Dusk. He, Magrica says, and Jasper smirks. What? Clarity asks, and Jasper goes into his quick explanation that he's not a woman but a man, and the whole bit about he, him, and his. After the explanation, Clarity takes a moment to puff herself up and try to regain some sense of dignity in the situation. She then descends to a single knee along with her attendants. In honorable battle, I have been bested. Surrender was demanded and given. I surrender my life and loyalty to you. When I asked you to change sides as we fought, I was only being partially serious. I did not expect you to join me, Jasper says in confusion. You had a clear killing blow. You held my life in your hands and offered me the choice of life and death. I choose life. But my life is yours, fairly won in battle. So I am yours. My honor as a Miru champion is lost, yet my august honor is still intact, but only so long as I honorably serve the one who owns my life. You, she says, and Jasper smiles. He knows what to do. Then rise. I serve the undaunted. I am of the undaunted. If you serve me, then you serve the undaunted and must be as the undaunted. And I will have no undaunted upon their knees. Stand tall and proud. He offers his hand to help her up, and she takes it. You have been beaten, yes, but you are not broken. You are not dead. You can learn and grow. Become something more, something better. Be undaunted by loss and pain. Be undaunted by the trials that come your way. Again, this is a lot like the whole way my clan and our sister clans look at this sort of thing. If you live, you can try again and do it better. If you got through it, then you're getting better. So go through more, Magrica says as she finishes off her jerky. Unfortunately, not everyone looks at adversity as opportunity, Jasper notes. Anyways, welcome to Aridus Valley then. I'll see about streamlining things, and if you want to take the proper oath to the Undaunted, I can arrange it. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have a paladin to speak to. With that, he turns, his star-patterned cape flowing behind him as he leaves the room with a dazed Dusk following. He closes the door behind him and notices Dusk just staring at him in shock. Yes? How? How what? How did you do that? You have a paladin of the Grand Midwives, an August Knight, and a Mountain Clan monster hunter all loyal to you. How? So I don't have your loyalty? You do, but I'm a merchant's daughter. That's not, if you think an army marches on anything other than its stomach and stable supply lines, then you're sadly misinformed. It wasn't blades and bows that was killing you and your girls. It was a loss and lack of supplies. And there you go again, making me feel like I matter, like this has meaning, like we're not caught up in the whims of those greater than us. How are you doing this? Why are you doing this? I'm just doing my best. It's hard not to when the other option is to lay down and die. I'm not ready to die. If the whole world wants to oppose me, then the whole world better be ready to fight, because I'm not going down quietly. Okay, that's it. We're gonna get some of those water girls to make the air good and wet or something, because that just set my loins on fire. Magrica interrupts and Jasper snorts in amusement to Dusk's confusion. But we still have to talk to Paladin Allure. Fuck it! She can watch for all I care. Hell, she can join in. Join in what? Dusk asks, and Jasper just laughs.